record like that. Hey guys, my name is Tom, and I'm here with Adrian Brody. And this is some domination on Havana. That means nothing to you. We are dominating people in Havana. But no, I got home, and I was talking with Adrian Brody about this like kind of meeting we had at work. And we're talking about this thing in education called essential questions, which is where you... they can't, to ask an essential question, I guess I should preface it with, they can't have a yes or no answer, which already stymies an argument, I think,
At all, yeah.
Yeah,
always.
because it's like, it can't have a concrete, yes, this is the right answer. At the same time, it's got to, at the end of it, have, basic understanding. And so the question that was given as an example was, how does popularity, I guess, relate to literature? And this teacher from the middle school answered that if it's popular, it is not literature. And he uses a series as an example, like Harry Potter. And I assume he infers Twilight. I mean, no one says it because it's I guess the whole room of people would want to be like, yeah, I'm fucking reading some Twilight. But, in the same vein, of being a popular series at this time. So, Michael, you want to let's go ahead and give your opinion on that, and then we'll see what I said.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, in its most basic, there's obviously a Venn diagram of popular and what is literature, or what is good, or what is great, and what is popular. And, of course, there's popular crap, but it's insane to suggest that nothing that is well known is good.
Yeah, and I guess I should totally preface this with I answered I stupidly raised my hand in this meeting, and was like, well, I halfway see where he's coming from, but at the same time, certain things in the literature canon are popular, and I use because he had cited Shakespeare, so I use Shakespeare also, and I stupidly said King Lear. I should have gone with Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet. But then he made this, argument to me that to him, King Lear's an obscure book, and he did this thing where he made everyone raise their hands on who's read what, and of course everyone's read Harry Potter, fucking no one's read King Lear, and I guess the thing that I wanted us to focus on was in an argument like that, we'll talk about obscurity and popularity. So this might be a multi-episode series. Because, and I've talked a little bit about with my subs about this kind of hipster mentality, but this defines it. The argument of obscurity and popularity concerning quality, I feel. Because that just seems where, I don't know, the stereotype of hipster wants to define itself,
Well, that, and it's such an easy way to imply that something you like is both obscure and great. It's the quickest way to just,
because one of the first Shakespeare things that he went for this, obscure series by Shakespeare was great, but it was also a series. So, some series can be great. And there are multiple ways that your brain can process when someone the information when someone says that to you, and there's this first kind of fuck you mentality because you're kind of being a d-bag, but that's you don't want to outright comment. You want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, and so you wait for them to respond to your response. I feel how they take your argument or your response from there is going to set the tone on whether or not they're douchebag, because it is normally I think this defensive thing in me, and that's in all people. Blue, stop. Is in all people where when someone does make kind of a condescending remark to you, and it's it goes with not wanting to be wrong, but at the same time, it's how to tell someone they're wrong, is a talent. Because when you are told in a condescending way, your first thought is, yeah, well, thanks for telling me in the most awesome way possible.
Thanks for...
but I'm getting sidetracked. We talked a long time on the porch about how we could transfer this to other mediums, and it wouldn't hold up.
Yeah, Wes Anderson is the perfect example.
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Popularity. He's popular and he's great.
And yeah, he is popular and he's great. It's all subjective too on who's popular with what. We talked about, Wes Anderson's totally popular with us. If you would consider him an underground director at this point, kind of in our crowd, You've been under a rock for the past couple years. But I think he's blown up everywhere by now. Animal Collective, we were talking about Animal Collective. Animal Collective is a band, and bands, it does get a little easier to find obscure gems, because that is where I feel people's, film too, but film and music are where people's tastes will derive them. So it's not so much really in music and film that they haven't heard of it. They may not give a shit about it.
Yeah. It's hard. It's tough. Yeah, it's even tough. We talked about how it's tough to define obscurity in an age where you can Google something and get 100 results for the most obscure thing. getting that's it. Well, that harkens back to Phil's argument of what is the first thing you do now when you're presented with an argument, especially what and his point was the power of the internet giving this to you. If you can be anonymous and no one will know that you're typing into Google, pre-researching so that you can appear to be an expert. But I mean, that's exactly it. It's not so much you can carry your fucking iPad into work and calmly Google this thing and then raise your hand and chime in with knowledge that back in the day everyone would have noticed you flipping open your giant book and searching forever for the right dickheaded answer. Yeah, like, I'll be right back. I have to stop for 10 minutes in the library to figure out how to reply to this in a way that's going to make me look the most knowledgeable. Yeah. And I say this because, typically, like, we focus on social commentary, and who's that? Especially when I get together with these guys, and I think to a T, like, arguments like this, I can catch Melinda. Melinda's just walked in. I can catch her up in a minute. But they bring out your personality type. How would you respond to that situation that I laid out for you? I mean, I would have gotten, especially since he seemed to be condescending, I would have gotten pretty smug and just, I can't help but defensively get smug back with
that's just it, and I'm the exact same way. Let's also, I think a perfect illustration of this is, one time Michael and I were in a bar in Chicago, and we were just in town for a couple days, and Michael was kind of drumming his feet. Was it your feet?
I think I was like stomping. Maybe.
Okay,
not stomping.
No, stomping, but just like he's tapping his foot in the booth, and we're sitting in the booth, and he's tapping his foot to the song, and this guy fucking comes around from the other booth, and he's like, okay, who's the fucking drummer? Who's the drummer here? And it was me and you and two other friends.
Yeah, and no one was a drummer.
No one was a drummer. No one was a drummer. And we will tell you Michael's reply here in a minute, because it was a damn good one. But we hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll have that next part up for you soon. We're going to go ahead and record it. All right, guys. Bye.
Peace.